inside the... Live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel, it's Inside the Jets. Brought to you by EY, building a better working world. And by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Now, here's Erik Allen and Erik Coleman.
Welcome to Inside the Jets. Erik Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt's inside the Wyndham Hotel here in Florham Park. We're going to be joined in our second segment by Jets outside linebacker Brandon Copeland, and we're also going to take your calls. 919-3776. Of course, that's 800-919-3776. Erik, disappointing home opener on many levels for the New York Jets, but they have to put this one behind them quickly. Thursday night matchup with the Cleveland Browns on the horizon.
Yeah, it was a disappointing home opener. You know, I think everyone saw out there that they had opportunities. You know, you had a lot of opportunities to capitalize, to get in front of that game. But at the same time, when they shot themselves in the foot, the Dolphins made them pay. But, you know, this is one of those games where you have a Thursday night game coming up. Don't even watch that film like we were talking about before the segment. Don't even watch the film. Get on to the next one, because that's kind of the luxury of that Thursday night game. You don't have to sit there and sit in the negativity of losing a game.
Todd Bowles said it today that we are not watching the film of that Miami Dolphins game because they have to get ready for the Browns, a team who has not tasted victory in 2018, but it's a much improved ball club. And if you look at the Browns and both of their two contests this year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then yesterday in New Orleans at the Superdome, they could have won both of those games.
Yeah, they should have won both of those games, you know, if it wasn't for missed field goals. You know, you look at they missed 2 extra points and a field goal. The week before, they missed a field goal in overtime. They had plenty of opportunities, and this team could be 2-0. You know, they have a lot of talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Tyrod Taylor is doing a great job of running their offense and getting the balls to their weapons. So the Jets have a lot on their plate, and they have a lot to prepare for coming up this week.
All right, so let's break down Jets in Miami. The turnovers hurt early. I thought the offense never got into an early rhythm because the team overall was losing the battle of field position. Mm-hmm. The first 4 drives the Jets had started out on an average at their 14-yard line. Yeah,
you know, the Dolphins did a great job of punting. You know, they did a great job of punting the football. The Jets started off, you know, back deep in their own territory and were never able to get on track. You know, they started off that second drive running the football a little bit, moving the chains, and I thought they started to get into somewhat of a groove, but then the turnovers started creeping up. I like what I saw at the end of the half. Although they didn't punch it in for a touchdown, it was kind of the drive that got Sam Darnold's momentum going. You can see his confidence starting to bleed through.
All right. You played safety in the National Football League. We're going to ask you for your eyes, your perspective each and every week. What did T.J. McDonald do on the game's first takeaway where he was able to come up with that interception of Darnold?
Well, the Dolphins were in a cover 1 coverage. T.J. McDonald looked to be covering the tight end Sterling. The linebacker had the low hole help. So when you play cover 1, there's a low hole player who's kind of a free player, and then there's a free safety in the deep middle of the field. Once Sterling went underneath, the linebacker took McDonald's guy. He kind of baited Sam by going inside and reading his eyes the whole time, going out to number 2. When Sam locked onto the receiver on the slot, going to the slant route, he jumped in and made a great play. That was a veteran play by a safety who's done this several times.
So the Dolphins were able to take advantage, cash in with a touchdown after the turnover, after the long return that put them inside the red zone. The second turnover happened when I thought Darnold was getting real hot. He made a rollout throw to Robbie Anderson. He came back. He stepped up in the pocket and fired to Quincy Enunwa. And then he came back to the other side of the field and hit Robbie up the sideline. Unfortunately, they wrestled the ball away from him. And again, the Dolphins were able to come down and score with a touchdown from Ryan Tannehill to Albert Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a case of Robbie Anderson trying to make the most out of the play. You know, he caught the ball, trying to get a few extra yards. Kiko Alonso, who was all over the field last night, did a great job in pursuit, and you could see him just come through and punch that ball loose. Robbie Anderson never saw it coming, and unfortunately, he lost the ball, and it led to a touchdown the Dolphins.
And then the Dolphins added a touchdown towards the end of the half, and it was 20-0. Jets come out in the second half. They make it a 20-6 ball game on a 28-yard scoring reception from Bilal Powell, where he showcased his great feet and vision.
Nice.
It was nice. But the turning point of this ball game, when you thought the Jets were going to seize momentum at a stadium that was ready to erupt, came after Jordan Jenkins had a strip sack of Ryan Tannehill, putting the ball at the 12-yard line. Then Darnold goes back to throw on the first play, looking for Terrell Pryor. Instead, he finds a Dolphins cornerback, Xavier Howard.
Yeah, that one really deflated the stadium. You know, after you get a turnover like that, where the momentum's changing, the crowd's into it, you want to go for the dagger. You want to go for their heart. And that's exactly what Jeremy Bates did. He dialed up the play to go into the end zone and score those points. But, you know, unfortunately, Sam doesn't have that much experience with Terrell Pryor. He missed a lot of camp. You know, he was out during the offseason. And I think that was one of those routes that both of them would like to have back. Terrell had an opportunity to jump in front of that corner and use that big body, use that big frame to box him out and catch that ball. But they were on separate pages, and unfortunately there was a turnover.
At the end of the first half, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this. From a timing perspective, the Jets are down there inside the 20. You're down 20-0, no timeouts remaining, and Darnold takes his shot to Herndon. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on how that play developed and what you saw there in the thought process? Because Darnold said after the game, listen, I knew we had no timeouts, but I'm going to take my chances with Chris Herndon there.
I was okay with that decision. So the Dolphins were trying to take away the sidelines and the end zone, obviously, being inside the 20, not having any timeouts. So they knew that the Jets had to either get out of bounds or score a touchdown. And they took away the outside routes, and Chris Herndon was running right up the seam. You know, he's a big target. Sam trusts him. You know, he made a great pass to him, and unfortunately, Rashad Jones was able to stop his momentum before he got into that end zone. But I have no problem with that play. You know, yes, I would have liked it to be when Herndon is in the end zone and catching the ball for a touchdown, but that's not how it works out. Sometimes it's a bang-bang situation. I thought Sam made a great decision. It would have been great if Herndon was able to run through the safety and score that touchdown, but that's not how it turned out.
Yeah, and the Jets desperately tried to claw back into that ball game, and it was just not to be. They fall to 1-1 on the year with a 20-12 loss to Miami Dolphins. Inside the Jets is presented by EY. EY, building a better working world. Erik Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt. We're going to take a break and come back with Jets outside linebacker Brandon Coleman.
Ernst & Young.
Centenary graduates work in hot fields like marketing.
Service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees. Member FDIC.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
As a young boy, Gavin loved playing football. He lived and breathed it, wanted to go pro. Why, he'd spent hours upon hours just practicing his touchdown dances. And one day, while getting fitted for bifocals, he realized he was never much good at throwing, or running, or catching, or even kicking. Yeah, Gavin's chances of playing pro football were looking like 4th and long. Very long. But he did hear how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. Then he did kind of a touchdown dance. At least he was still good at that.
Around my house, I'm called difficult. I know what I want, and I always want more. Take my insurance, for instance. I want more coverages, but there's no chance I'm paying more for it. My agent knows this, and that's why she recommended the Selective Edge. With the Selective Edge, I get higher coverage limits and even coverages I didn't know I need. And my agent knows what discounts I deserve. More coverage, more options, less money. That's not too difficult, is it? Find an agent near you by visiting Selective.com. Selective. Response is everything.
Hi, football fans. This is Director Jared Maples with the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. It's our mission to protect New Jersey with our federal, state, and local partners. Of course, nobody knows our communities better than the people who live there. That's where you can help. If you see something that you suspect is out of the ordinary, report it. Together, we can keep our state safe. Remember, if you see something, say something. To learn more about what to look for, visit njhomelandsecurity.gov.
Ryan Tannehill was pressured by Jenkins. He lost the football, and Jenkins has it.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. Eric Allen and Erik Coleman here. And our player guest segment is presented by M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Brandon Copeland in the house. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's going on, brother?
Thanks for having me. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Great. Hey, listen, Brandon, you signed with the New York Jets in the offseason.
Yep.
What were your expectations when you came here fresh off of a season where injury kept you out of football?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously coming here, like you said, off of a season-ending injury, your expectations are high. You spend the whole season while you're rehabbing just dreaming of getting back out there on the field and getting back in the locker room and joking with the guys and having fun and going in that grind together. So the expectations for me personally were very, very high. That's what pushed me and forced me to get back out onto the field and stuff like that and forced me to get through rehab and stuff like that. And now we're going into week 3 in the season.
Why don't you tell people what the injury was and when it occurred? And then what was subsequent rehab all about?
Yeah, so I tore my pec tendon, my left pec tendon. I tore it in the first preseason game, just making a tackle, and my arm got caught within the pile, and my body went a little too far, and it just popped right off the bone. So I tore that in the first preseason game of last season, so I literally spent 6 months just rehabbing. I spent the first 2 months in a sling, and the doctors told me I shouldn't be doing certain things, shouldn't walk, shouldn't move the arm and all that type of stuff. But, as most of us, we're hard-headed.
Before I go to you, who was the opponent in the first preseason game?
It was the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, because the Jets did play the Lions in the preseason last year.
They did. Yeah, that would have been really awkward if it was.
What was that like, the first game of the season going back to Detroit and playing? I know you spent several years there.
Awesome.
What was that like going down there and getting that win?
Awesome. It was a dream come true. I think, obviously, is once I found out I wasn't going to be a Lion last year, I signed with the Jets, and then the season schedule comes out, and, we have Detroit. And not only do we have Detroit, we have them on Monday Night Football, first week of the season. It was just like that was the game circled, the motivating factor for me to push me through workouts all summer, all spring, all OTAs, everything. So to go back there, to be in the starting lineup, to have a chance to make an impact, pressure Stafford, and to win in the fashion that we did, I couldn't write a better story.
How do you manage your emotions in a situation like that? You spend all this time rehabbing, daydreaming about the opportunity to get back out there on the field. You go back to Detroit, Monday Night Football. Everybody's watching. How do you manage your emotions during that game?
Yeah, it's ebbs and flows. I think for me personally, what I did was I made sure before the game I went out for warm-ups, got all of the handshakes, the laughs, the catching up with guys out of the way, so that that can be the furthest thing from my mind when I'm on the field, and then I can get to straight business. So the leading up of emotions up until the game, that was just hard to manage. Like I said, it's been a full roller coaster ride for me, full circle. But once we got out on the field, it was easy, because at the end of the day, when that ball is moving and guys are moving in front of you trying to knock your head off, it's pretty easy to focus on what's at hand.
We're going to be taking your calls here on Inside the Jets, 800-919-3776. We're joined here by Jets outside linebacker Brandon Copeland. You came here where maybe a lot of people thought this guy could be fighting for a roster spot and maybe he's going to help out on special teams. But Josh Martin goes down with concussion against the New York Giants in the third preseason game, and you're vaulted up there into the starting lineup. Now, throughout the summer, they used you with the ones, so you got that experience under your belt. But what's it been like working with the first team throughout these first two games?
It's been great. It's been, like I said, something that fortunately I've been prepared for by working with them throughout the summer, throughout the spring, and now to get a chance to go out in MetLife yesterday and to play with those guys and that energy on the field is nothing short of amazing. So I'm just trying to focus on doing my job, playing and play out, and making sure that those guys know that they can count on me to create some havoc for them and be a playmaker for them.
Well, you created some havoc yesterday. The Jets totaled 4 sacks in the loss to the Dolphins, including one by Brandon Copeland. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, we had I believe it was a third down. It definitely was a third down. We had a play called, and I stunned it to the inside. Saw a quick opening, made a move on the guard, and like I said, I saw an opening and just accelerated to the quarterback. I was just hoping that Tannehill didn't throw it away before I could get him down. So thank you for not.
So can you explain what it's like playing against an athletic quarterback like a Ryan Tannehill, a guy who can get outside the pocket, hurt you with his legs? How does that change your pass rush?
Yeah, I think you just have to be conscious of what you're doing, and it's catch-22, because as a pass rusher, you want to be as aggressive as possible in terms of getting off the ball and attacking and being explosive. But you have to also be smart within your rush and within your rush lanes, because as soon as you get out of your rush lane, if you break contain, or if you go inside too fast and he breaks contain, he'll really expose you and expose the weak points of your defense, and give it also gives him the chance to hurt your entire team by doing that. So you have to be aggressive. You can't let your foot off the throttle, but part of being a professional is also understanding who you're going against and making sure that while you're being aggressive, is being aggressive within the scheme of the overall defense, because you can't take those chances against those guys.
Does it help you in preparation now for Tyrod Taylor, Cleveland Browns quarterback, that you faced a guy like Tannehill? Obviously, Tannehill's not as athletic as Tannehill. As Tyrod. Yep. But the RPOs, the run-pass options, you saw a few of those yesterday, and the boots as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think, obviously, in the NFL and this profession, you have to clean up your mistakes, because if not, then it's a copycat league, and teams will continue they'll continue to try to hurt you with those over and over again. So, unfortunately, we obviously did not win yesterday, but we're taking the mistakes that we made and trying to work our hardest to clean those up, so that guys like Tyrod cannot capitalize on those this week.
So typically, can you walk us through the week of a Thursday night game? Because typically you got a Monday where you can watch film, recover a little bit. Tuesday's a day off, and then you get into your work week.
Yeah.
This week is compressed. How are you guys going about the practice week?
Yeah, you don't sleep at all. No, we so like you said, usually you have 6 days to you usually have 6 days, Monday through Saturday, to get ready for a Sunday game, and now you have literally 2 days, really 3 days to get ready for an opponent. So you're cramming everything you can into it. The one good thing is they're working with the same schedule, the same type of short week. But what we normally would do on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is all happening today type of thing, and we're just trying to get it done. But also the most important thing, too, is trying to get your body back up in physical, get your body back physically ready to actually take on the task of a game.
Yeah, how sore do you feel today?
Me personally, or the team?
No.
Me personally, I'm actually pretty good today. To be quite honest, I was a little surprised when I woke up this morning, my legs and everything like that. So I'm fortunate. I've been through a stretch before where we've had to play 3 games. I think in Detroit at one point we had to play 4 games within 17 days or 18 days or something ridiculous. But and the key to this stuff is, if you're blessed if you can come out of a couple of those games without any major injuries that kind of slow you up. So right now I'm happy.
You having that annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit, that's got to help you on a week like this, right?
Yeah. I mean, that, again, I remember one year we had a Monday night game, a Sunday night game, and then a Thursday at noon against the Eagles at the time, I believe. But so, again, I've been through this type of stretch before, and I know what to expect. And like I said, you just got to make sure you have your routine, your recovery routine down packed for weeks like this.
Were you surprised when you got there today and they said, hey, we're not going through the Miami film. We're taking a look at Cleveland right now, and nothing back?
Yeah, no, not at all. Again, since I've been through it before, I think it might, for the first-year players or something, they might be a little bit surprised. But for me, it's like fortunately, also, Coach Bowles is very upfront with us, and even before the game, he was telling us, we're going to have we have to have a short memory because we have 3 games in 11 days. So we have to be able to quickly digest stuff within an hour to 2 hour post-game and turn the page right now. So we've done that as a team, and I'm looking forward to it. So
going into this Thursday matchup, is it obviously you have to worry about the Browns and what problems that they pose, but is it more about the Jets and not hurting yourselves and doing
Always.
the right thing and staying within the system?
Always, 100%. I think that that's the one thing I've learned about football personally, in my own personal battle and personal journey, is the more you focus on, you can't stress what you can't control, and the more you focus on yourself and my own preparation, my own game plan, etc., how I play is going to determine the outcome of my personal game and everything like that. But then also, as it pertains to the Jets, it is literally about us, and that's not a cocky thing, or it's just that's all we can control. We can control whether we're in our gaps or whether we're doing our schemes right or whether we're running the ball effectively. And at the end of the day, when you start to take that ownership, then you eliminate those excuses that you can come up with for why you aren't getting the results that you want to see, because at the end of the day, it's on us. It's on us to get the job done.
I want to go off the field for a minute with Jets outside linebacker Brandon Copeland.
Nice.
What is a guy who went to Pennsylvania and Wharton doing in the National Football League?
Hey, that's a great question. For me personally, football has always been a dream, but football to me has also been a means to an end. So for me, I enjoy the freedom, the platform that football gives me, and it allows me to do some of the things that I'm doing off the field at a high level and less of a quote-unquote pressured level, because I have, this platform to stand on. So whether it's my community efforts and stuff like that, you walk into a classroom and being an active football player, kids listen to you, and that's a huge impact that I have the chance to make. or I'm doing real estate. My wife and I, we do real estate or
You
finance
flipped a
and stuff.
house, didn't you?
Yeah, we flipped a few at this point. Yeah,
How
a few
many
in Detroit right now.
How many houses have you flipped?
We flipped 5 last year. We have 3 working right now, and 1 in Baltimore, 2 in Detroit. So, if you're in Detroit, watch out for my stuff. I've had a couple break-ins too. So
Now, who is the leader in that endeavor? Is that your wife, and you're part of it, or have you taken the lead?
No, not even. She.
And where'd you get the idea for flipping houses?
Yeah, so I am the leader on that. That's it's our company. She runs our finances and everything like that. She works. But that was something that I've taken an interest in over time. I'm an entrepreneurship major, so I've always been interested in starting my own. And I found out probably my first couple of years that it's a lot easier to, not even necessarily a lot easier, but it's easier to start in a business or industry that's already formed rather than trying to create something new. So my first couple of years, I was trying to create fitness apps and websites and stuff like that. But when you have an industry that's already existing, I can reach out to a mentor that can help my learning curve. It can help my growth, help me not make those mistakes. When you're trying to create something brand new in a space, there are only a few people you can quote unquote reach out to, So for me, I'm trying to build this empire long term, and with one of those things being a real estate arm. And it's a lot easier, like I said, when you I'm blessed to have good mentors and people willing to pick up the phone for me for some reason.
Wow. Well, as a former player, I want to first commend you for what you do off the field. And as far as the business stuff, not enough of us, I think, focus on life after football. But with that being said, do you talk to some of the younger guys on the team about what they're going to do after football, about, making decisions and meeting people and developing these things for post-football?
100%. I think that one of the things that a lot of people say, and whether it's kids I'm talking to in my camp or young guys on the team, and a lot of guys have taken interest in the things that I'm doing off the field and stuff, so we're always talking. But one of the things that I've always told people is, a lot of people say, hey, plan B distracts from plan A. I've gone up against players who we're going against each other in practice and they take the wrong step and they tear their ACL. Or for me, for example, in the preseason game, I'm making a tackle and my pec tears. Like, I wasn't thinking about plan B at that time, right? So while I have this short window of opportunity while people are listening to me or answering my emails, I need to maximize it for everything, because at the end of the day, life is short in this NFL life. Whether you play 10 or 15 years, you still have a lot of life after, and you want to be able to say that you maximize this and milk the NFL for all that they're milking us for as well.
Absolutely.
You are not just talking the talk, you are walking the walk, because I heard that when you get back from Cleveland over the weekend, you have a little Top Golf outing happening. So why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, so we have a outing at Top Golf in Edison. We've been fortunate to have a partnership and link up with them. One of my roommate from college, he's on the board of this program called the First Tee, and it's this program that introduces underserved youth, middle schoolers and high schoolers in New Jersey and in New York to the game of golf. But while introducing them to that, they're doing cool things with them besides they're tutoring them, they're mentoring them and stuff like that, but they're also teaching them how to tie a tie, talking to them about resumes, college essays, and that's what really was like, wow, this is something special. So my wife is from New Jersey. She's from Plainfield, New Jersey. She was in the New Jersey Seeds program and went to Petty. And one of the things we really pride ourselves on is we don't think that we're anything special. We've just been fortunate enough to have people in our lives who've just taken the blinders off of us and exposed us to some pretty cool things. So what we're trying to do with this Top Golf event is help take the blinders off of some of these kids and expose them to some really cool things. So we'll have some Jets players come out, tell their stories to these kids, and have a good time, have some fun.
All right, well, listen, Brandon Copeland, you got a lot going on, and hopefully you're going to be getting after Tyrod Taylor.
I hope so.
Thursday night. The Jets got some pass rush going against the Miami Dolphins. great spot here on Inside the Jets. We wish you continued success and luck ahead.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
We'll be right back with your calls out here on Inside the Jets, 800-919-3776.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium, teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
They couldn't play football without us. We built this stadium. You couldn't tailgate without us. We probably built the road that got you here. Most of all, we promote economic development. That means investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. We're ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. We build the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Jet fans, take your Sunday to another level with the premier Jets pregame party at Club Prime Sport. Enjoy food and drinks, games and giveaways, plus live entertainment. Elevate your game day at MetLife Stadium with a Jets experience like no other. Go to primesport.com or call 877-527-2603 today to secure your spot at the official Jets pregame hospitality at Club Prime Sport. With Prime Sport, it's more than a game, it's an experience. Primesport.com.
Advance your career at Centenary University's School of Professional Studies. With accelerated scheduling and competitive pricing, it's convenient for busy adults to earn an MBA, undergraduate degree, or certificate. Centenary graduates work in hot fields like social media marketing, criminal justice, data analytics, health administration, and sports management. At Centenary University, they're committed to your success. Learn more at sps.centenaryuniversity.edu.
Play clock down to 1. Darnold takes the snap. Looks right, throws right. Up the middle, he's got Bilal Powell. In stride at the 15, at the 10. Flag down. He's into the end zone. That's a Jet touchdown. Bilal Powell knifes his way right up the seam. Sam Darnold hit him in stride. This penalty will go against the Dolphins, and the Jets are on the board.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. Eric Allen and Erik Coleman here at Vanderbilt. We're taking your calls, 800-919-3776. That was the Jets' only touchdown against the Dolphins. Good to get Bilal Powell involved in the passing game. That's something both, I think, he and Isaiah Crowell can be effective in.
Yeah, I mean, how electrifying is Bilal Powell? I mean, every time it seems he touches the ball, everyone holds their breath because he might hit his head on the field goal post. You know, he's one of those players that's special. You know, you got to get him the ball however you can, you know, whether it's in the pass game, the run game. Isaiah Crowell the same way. You know, he does a great job of running. He's physical. He breaks tackles. You know, these two running backs have something special. So if they can get these guys going along with that passing game, it's going to be lights out for the Jets offense.
169 yards for the Jets in week 1 on the ground. What do the Dolphins do to take away the rush game in week 2?
Well, you know, first of all, they have a fantastic front seven. You know, Cameron Wake, Robert Quinn are top-notch football players. But they did a lot of bringing the safety in the box. Right. You know, they played a lot of man coverage on the outside, mixed some coverages up, and, you know, they were effective. Another thing that helps that is they play with the lead. When you have a lead, when you're playing from behind, it's hard to establish the run game because you're playing catch-up. So the circumstances kind of played into the lack of the run game as well.
Let's take some calls right now, and let's go to Ira, who is on line 1.
Hey, good evening, EA, Erik. What's happening, guys?
What's up, Ira?
Hey, what's up, Ira?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, I have to compliment you guys. Over the years, I'm listening to Inside the Jets. I tell you, that was one of the most interesting interviews with Brandon Copeland. Boy, I tell you, he's been a great pickup football-wise, but he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's a real sharp kid. I wish him all the best. Unfortunately, we lost a home opener. Both you guys know, most NFL games are really determined on 2 or 3 plays, and that's what happened yesterday. You had the Anderson fumble, and then we didn't capitalize after the Jenkins fumble recovery, and pretty much, and that pretty much sealed our fate. But my question to both of you, we were so successful running out of like a power formation with the tight ends last week. It seemed like we got away from that. And I know we were down by 20 points and you got to throw the ball. But early in the game, we ran the ball 8 times and threw the ball 21 times. And I just don't understand why he tried to spread out that Miami defense and he left the 2 tackles exposed against Quinn and Waite. It just, to me, it made no sense. I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
All righty. Ira brings up the point about the personnel packages and maybe going bigger earlier against the Dolphins. I think a lot of times offensive coordinators like to spread defenses out so their quarterback can see everything.
Yeah, it makes
developing in front of them.
Yeah, it makes the defense declare what they're doing as far as coverage-wise. But also, you have to look at the Jets' weapons. You have to get Quincy Enunwa out there. You have to get him the ball. Terrell Pryor, he started to get implemented into the offense, and you are playing catch-up. So you have to put your best weapons out on the field. So it would be nice to get more of a running game, to have more balance. I think everyone would like more balance. But at the same time, like I mentioned before, sometimes the circumstances in the game don't allow you to establish that run, to be disciplined, running the football, be stubborn almost. But you have to put points on the board and you have to push the ball down the field. The way you do that is throwing the ball vertically.
And I think Bates has been great, frankly, with his personnel packages because he's rotating guys in and out. And to Ira's point, we saw a lot of those multiple tight end sets against the Lions. We'll have to see the game plan Thursday night for the Cleveland Browns. Bradley has been on the hold for a while. Bradley in Queens is now on the line here on Inside the Jets.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thanks for calling in.
Just one quick thing about that 2 tight end package, establish the run. Everybody be saying establish the run, but just football today in general, everybody likes to spread the field out. That whole give it to one guy 25 times a game, that don't work no more. That's just not how teams like to play. And then just that wasn't really my point, but that's just something I'm tired of hearing. And then just in regards to, I know you're a former safety. What do you think Jamal Adams needs to do to kind of get himself more composed out there? I love how he loves the game. He's always looking like he wants to be out there, but he's just not breaking down and making tackles. He's always looking for that big hit. There's a couple times throughout that game where he just made some key mistakes, especially that 3rd and 19. I just want to what advice would you give him to put him in a better position to make plays and just play more
Bradley,
composed?
thanks for the call. Listen, good question about 3rd and 19 because from a safety's perspective, and then also take a look at Jamal on a macro level. What you're saying.
First of all, with Jamal Adams, I love what he does out in the field. He has an infectious attitude. He flies around the field. He's in on every tackle. I think he's doing a heck of a job. And when you play that aggressive, you're going to miss a tackle. But it's okay as long as you turn that ball carrier back to your defense. And that's the kind of defense the Jets play where everyone's in pursuit. And sometimes you might miss a play, but you trust your teammates to back you up. As far as that 3rd and 19, I saw something about that. Someone said that it was his fault. To me, watching the film, it looked like he was covering the tight end blocked. He added on to the blitz. I'm not going to put that on Jamal Adams. That's team defense. They made a mistake. Everybody got aggressive. I can't put that play on Jamal solely. listen, I think he's doing a heck of a job. He's the best player out there on the defense, and he has to continue to grow and play the way he's doing.
I think Adams is coming to his own as a player. He hit another sack yesterday, actually. What is next for him, though, here in year 2?
Well, he's already started to make that step where he's starting to force turnovers. You saw him get a strip on that sack. Last week he had an interception. Those splash plays are what's next for Jamal. Last year he made a lot of great tackles, some big hits. He was making his presence known. This year, year 2, you get smarter in the game. You start to see the route combinations. Tendencies. You start to learn down and distance what teams like to do, and that's when you start jumping routes. That's when you start making big plays. That's when you start forcing turnovers and getting the ball back to your offense in the best situation.
All right, we're rolling on here on Inside the Jets. Marky Mark is calling in from Lyndhurst. Marky, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Just wanted to make a couple points, and I had a couple questions. I think, the Jets' defense overall looked good yesterday. They kept them in the game, held the Dolphins to 20 points. That's reasonable. I think a couple things that stood out to me was, the couple plays on defense, very poor tackling that led to, a couple big plays, and then obviously the turnovers were probably the difference in the game overall. But I just wanted to ask you, do you think it's a problem moving forward for the Jets that on offense they don't really have a number one guy that they go to as their number one weapon? And then my next question was going to be, I've seen this stat today saying Ryan Tannehill's 9-1 in his last 10 starts with Adam Gase. How do you feel about that team moving forward in this division? Because for some reason I feel like they're getting better every year.
Okay, thanks for the call, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. To answer the first part of your question with the number one guy, I think that everyone is finding out who the number one guy is in Quincy Enunwa. He's showing up. He's making big plays. He's becoming that security blanket for Sam Darnold, and he's establishing himself as that number one receiver.
He's got 13 catches, and the second leading receiver in the Jets so far this season, Terrell Pryor, with 7.
Yeah, but he's coming up big. And when you do that, when you make those tough catches, when you make the big plays, they're going to keep feeding you. I would keep feeding Quincy, let him show his talents like he's been doing this year, and they're going to continue to they're going to have to start double teaming him, opening up other opportunities for the other receivers. Now, as far as Ryan Tannehill, listen, this kid was talked about early in his career. He's a former wide receiver. He's an athlete. He was learning the quarterback game. Him with Adam Gase is a great match. They found a way to utilize his skill set. Like you said, he's using the RPOs, getting him out in the perimeter, letting him show his athletic ability. And as well, he has some talent at receiver. He has a lot of speed out there to make the game simple for him.
Yeah, it was an interesting ball game because the Jets didn't give up that many yards. It's like 257 yards. But conversely, the Dolphins were 6 of 13 on third down. You want to see some third down improvement for the Jets against the Cleveland Browns. As far as where Miami stacks up in the AFC East, I see there's no reason why the Jets can't be the second best team in this division. They'll get another crack against the Miami Dolphins, who I was impressed with, especially defensively, more so than what they could do on the offensive side of the ball. Erik Coleman, Eric Allen here at Inside the Jets, here at Vanderbilt's. You have Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. We're going to come right back with your calls and discuss the Cleveland Browns next.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets debit card. New on the scene, this fantastic plastic stands 2.125 inches tall and weighs a lean 0.2 ounces. This small but mighty paying machine is sure to be charging through checkout lines all season long.
Hey Jets fans, get your hands on the exclusive Jets debit card with Easy Choice Checking. It's free from a monthly maintenance fee and free from a minimum balance requirement, leaving you free from worry.
You know, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this powerhouse everywhere soon.
No doubt about it. I want one on my team.
So show your love for the Jets and save on fees today. Rush to any M&T Bank branch or mtb.com/Jets today. M&T Bank, the official community bank of your New York Jets. Other transaction and service fees, including insufficient funds and overdraft fees, may apply to this account. Member FDIC.
Hey, Jets fans, New Jersey Motor Vehicle Chief Administrator Sue Fulton here to welcome you back for a brand new season of action-packed NFL football. and to warn you about the dangers of texting while driving. Sure, fines and penalties are steep, but did you know you're also 23 times more likely to get into an accident if you text and drive? Or that taking your eyes off the road for just 5 seconds at highway speeds is like traveling the length of a football field blindfolded? That's not a winning drive, Jets fans. Learn more at justdrive.com.
Advance your career at Centenary University's School of Professional Studies. With accelerated scheduling and competitive pricing, it's convenient for busy adults to earn an MBA, undergraduate degree, or certificate. Centenary graduates work in hot fields like social media marketing, criminal justice, data analytics, health administration, and sports management. At Centenary University, they're committed to your success. Learn more at sps.centenaryuniversity.edu.
They couldn't play football without us. We built this stadium. You couldn't tailgate without us. We probably built the road that got you here. Most of all, we promote economic development. That means investments in infrastructure and construction to provide opportunities for developers, union contractors, and members of Operating Engineers Local 825. We're ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative. We build the infrastructure New Jersey and the Jets rely on.
Jet fans, take your Sunday to another level with the premier Jets pregame party at Club Prime Sport. Enjoy food and drinks, games and giveaways, plus live entertainment. Elevate your game day at MetLife Stadium with a Jets experience like no other. Go to primesport.com or call 877-527-2603 today to secure your spot at the official Jets pregame hospitality at Club Prime Sport. With Prime Sport, it's more than a game, it's an experience. Primesport.com.
Around my house, I'm called difficult. I know what I want, and I always want more. Take my insurance, for instance. I want more coverages, but there's no chance I'm paying more for it. My agent knows this, and that's why she recommended the Selective Edge. With the Selective Edge, I get higher coverage limits and even coverages I didn't know I need. And my agent knows what discounts I deserve. More coverage, more options, less money. That's not too difficult, is it? Find an agent near you by visiting selective.com. Selective. Response is everything.
Every time you close your laptop, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your to-do list is to do one less thing, a Corona gets its lime. Every time you press pause. Every time you unwind or lose track of time, a Corona gets its lime. And every time your feet are up while the sun goes down, a Corona gets its lime. So drop a lime in and find your beach. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome back to Inside the Jets. Eric Allen and Erik Coleman here, broadcasting live from Vanderbilt Sports and Spirits inside the Wyndham Hamilton Park Hotel. I'll tell you what, this is our second week doing Inside the Jets, and these hours are going too quick.
Oh, man, it flies by. I can't believe we're in the last segment. It's always fun. I guess time flies when you're having fun.
ESPN Radio's got to give us a couple more hours. What do you think?
Yeah, we need some more time. Let us break it down.
Speaking of breaking it down, Jets, Cleveland, Thursday night. The Browns still searching for that elusive first victory. What jumps out at you initially about this matchup? Because the Jets have to be in overdrive with their preparations because the Browns, they're going to be hungry in that dog pound.
Yeah, you know, what jumps out to me is how well Tyrod Taylor is playing.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing a great job of distributing the ball. He's running the ball well. He's getting out in the perimeter and moving the chains with his feet. You know, getting the ball to Jarvis Landry, who's a guy who the Jets must stop in this matchup. You know, he's like one of those guys. He's like a running back out there. Something similar to their version of Quincy Enunwa, a guy who's tough, he's physical, he's not afraid to go across the middle. He can make all those tough catches.
When I see the Browns so far this season, they have some interesting numbers because Carlos Hyde is there, bruising back downhill runner, and you mentioned Taylor. And that has allowed the Browns to be fifth in terms of rush yards per ball game. But they are 29th in pass yards per play. And also, Taylor's been sacked 10 times in 2 weeks, including 7 by the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 1. What do you think about the Jets' pass rush going against a Browns team that is missing one of the greatest ever to play the offensive line position in Joe Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns have had a tough time replacing Joe Thomas, and it's going to be a tough that's a tough replacement. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle. But, I think for the Jets' defensive line, for their pass rush, the outside linebackers are going to have to win one-on-one matchups. Defensively, Jets are going to be focused on stopping that run first, then, containing Jarvis Landry. But the outside linebackers, Copeland, Frankie Louvu, Jordan Jenkins, all these guys are going to have to get after that quarterback and continue to apply pressure to Tyrod.
Yeah, and then you think about the Browns, too. David Njoku, the tight end there, you got to pay attention to where he is right now. But how about this? No Josh Gordon. And then I'm sitting at my desk today, and somebody said, Josh Gordon's a New England Patriot. And I said, are you serious?
That's one of those things where you're like, oh, they want to trade him? Oh, I bet he goes to the Patriots. It seems like they always get those guys. But, before football, I hope Josh Gordon takes care of himself off the field. And, it's bigger than football. Hopefully his issues, dissipate and he continues to take care of himself personally.
Yeah, he is a great player. We'll have to see what happens. But this is not inside the Patriots. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball for the Jets. After seeing Robert Quinn and Cameron Wake, it doesn't promise to get any easier because Myles Garrett can bring it off the edge himself.
Yeah, Myles Garrett is, former first pick of the draft.
Yep.
He's a guy who can get after the quarterback, and it's going to be by committee. They're going to have to protect Sam Darnold's backside, but Sam's going to have that internal clock going and get that ball out quick, which he's been doing a great job of doing.
And I think they have an underrated group of linebackers, Joe Schobert, Christian Kirksey. Did you follow any of Hard Knocks in the summer and watch what was going on with Greg Williams, Hugh Jackson, Todd Haley, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. I love watching Hard Knocks. and it's funny because it almost makes you a fan of that team. Like, you kind of root for them a little bit. And then, it comes to that time where you're like, okay, first of all, Cleveland's not that good. Second of all, I don't like them. I'm going for the Jets. But, you get to learn about their players and you get to learn about their strengths and weaknesses. And I think that the Jets outmatched the Browns this week. I think they have too much talent. As long as they take care of themselves, don't have the penalties, and take care of that football.
I feel awful, E, because I wrote down some notes when I came over here tonight, and the first thing that came to my mind was the 2018 NFL Draft. When Sam Darnold had his pro day on March 21st in the rain in Southern California, everybody said Darnold is a lock to go number one to the Cleveland Browns. A month later or so, the Browns take Baker Mayfield. The Giants come back with Saquon Barkley at number 2. The Jets take Sam Darnold. And, oh, by the way, the Browns had the number 4 overall selection when instead of going for another edge guy in Bradley Chubb, they took a cornerback, Denzel Ward, who had 2 interceptions to Ben Roethlisberger in week 1.
Yeah, Denzel Ward has been playing his butt off. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest corner, but he has speed, he's competitive, and he attacks that football. So he's a guy that Sam Darnold's going to have to worry about. But I think, when you get 20 years down the line, I think Jets fans will thank the Browns, for allowing them to get Sam Darnold, because I personally I always thought that Sam Darnold was the best quarterback in that draft, and he's starting to prove it. Yes, he's going to have his ebbs and flows. That's going to happen for any rookie. It's going to happen for any player. But ultimately, I think Sam Darnold is going to put together a great body of work and have an amazing career.
Yeah, and the Browns, probably sooner than later, they will go to Baker Mayfield. But the Jets don't have to worry about Baker Mayfield in week 3 because this is Tyrod Taylor's team, whereas the Jets worked in Sam Darnold with the first-team offense during the spring and gradually progressed from there until he got those starts in the preseason, week 2 and week 3. Hugh Jackson said in Cleveland, Taylor's our guy, and Baker's not getting first-team reps.
Yeah, well, I don't think he deserves it. He's not ready for that. And I think Tyrod Taylor is definitely capable of leading the team. He took Buffalo to the playoffs last year, then gets released. This guy, for some reason, he doesn't really get a fair shot. But, in the situation with the Jets, Sam Darnold is smart, beyond his years. You know, he develops the game. He sees the game in a different light. You know, he's 21 years old, but he conducts himself like a veteran, and he applies. You know, after he makes a mistake, he learns from it. He continues to grow, and that's what's key in anyone's NFL career.
All right, this will wrap up 3 games in 11 days for the New York Jets. Thursday night against the Browns. Next week, Erik Coleman and I will be back right here at Vanderbilt. It's going to be for season ticket holders only inside here, but we will be on the air again. See you next week.
Ernst & Young LLP is proud to be the exclusive professional business and accounting services sponsor of the New York Jets and MetLife Stadium. Teaming with them as the official sponsor of the EY Coaches Club. As a global leader in assurance, tax, transaction, and advisory services, the global network of EY firms has better connected consultants who help organizations navigate the transformative age by asking better questions to find answers to some of the world's toughest challenges, all to build a better working world for their people, clients, and communities.
We haven't seen a superstar like this in years.
You're not kidding, Bob. The people need to know about this standout.
Introducing this year's most sought-after rookie, the M&T Bank Jets.